Okay, so I can't take no more. I've been sitting here for the last, 15 minutes. I don't know what's going on. Why it's saying I can't find my microphone when my microphone hooked up to my webcam. But that's neither here or there. Good evening and welcome back. Tonight, Court is now in session. I am the Honorable Judge D. Lit, self-proclaimed, self-titled, self-designated. And you are now taking part of the Lit Lane Jury Box. If you're in the chat speaking like Kathy, living my best life OG, Foot Soldier, Peach Cobbler, you up top listening. Okay, thank you for coming and supporting. Your Tanya, I haven't got to get Tanya. There you go, Tanya, and your Tanya. Winter. Let's see, VA Sag. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You know, the way you guys come through and support, all I need is another 5,000 of y'all. And we'll be rocking and rolling. Until then, I am very appreciative of you guys. Even then, you know, you guys are my flagship jurors. Apollo takes his job as Apollo takes his job very seriously as the trial watch with Demetra mascot. Every time we go live, every time I'm telling y'all hello, he chimes in. Okay, you would you would think he part hound dog. Y'all, please remember, go ahead and like this video. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share. He gets on my nerves, okay? However, you guys, tonight we will be hearing testimony from Kelly. Okay. You know, these dogs are just like kids. As soon as they hear me talking, they know that I am distracted, and that's when they get the cutting up. Okay. Hey, Candy Cane, welcome back to the Lit Lane Jury Box. I was waiting just for you. Now we can get, he always got some things to say. Now, tonight, or we started just this week a new trial. We started the state of Georgia versus Miles Bryant. A recap in the players of this story, a tragic story out of Georgia. Okay. The defendant in this case is one Miles Bryant. At the time of the trial, I believe he was 23 years old. He was an active police officer, young police officer on active duty. At the time he allegedly committed this crime. The state of Georgia is trying him now for the unaliving and kidnapping of 16-year-old high school sophomore Susana Gonzalez. Susana Gonzalez, the night she went missing, July 25th, 2022, had just went no more than not even 20 minutes away. Even though she told her friend she was going to her mom, she was going to one friend house, the friend house that she went to was still only 20 minutes away. They seemingly had everything and all of the right checks and balances in place. They had the Life 360. She asked, could she go? The mom called to make sure she made it there. On her walk back from that friend's house that night, that less than 15-minute walk back, Susana Morales disappeared, never to be seen again. Her body was found in a wooded area 196 days later. All that was remaining of her body at that point in time was her skeletal remains and some hair. In the nearby proximity of her skeletal remains, they were able to uncover and locate a gun. This gun. Hey, Leon Fitzmuffin. This gun was discovered in close proximity in that wooded area. The gun was registered to police officer Miles Bryant. and the investigation into him and his involvement with Susanna's disappearance began. The state says they're going to be able to show and prove that he was the one who kidnapped Susanna. He was the one who unalived her and left her naked in the woods for her body to decompose in that manner. So far, we've heard tonight is part 3, night 3. Hey, Living, hey, Sean P. Did I say hey, Sassy Friend? First night, we heard some very emotional testimony from the mother. The mother was just able to say who her daughter was, how her personality, what happened that night, as far as she went to look, that she had asked could she go. And then when she called her, she never heard back from her. The next person to testify was her sister. More of the same. And she went on to elaborate on how they looked for her. The last witness we heard from so far, we've heard from 3 witnesses, was Kaya Jones, one of Susanna's best friends. Now, last night you guys was asking, a couple of you I was asking, was that friend Kaya, was that Kelly? No. Tonight we will hear from Kelly. Kelly is the friend that the mother did not approve of. Okay, not saying nothing bad about the friend, but the mama didn't approve of Kelly. And that's why Susanna, when she asked to go to her friend's house, she told her mama a different friend. You know how kids will do sometimes. But she actually went to Kelly's house, and that's Kelly's house where she never made it home from. Okay, so tonight and now we're going to get into the testimony from Kelly. So thank you guys again for joining me. Y'all get comfortable. This is Night Court. We are now in session. Boom. I was supposed to just say boom and be right on it. All right. This is Kelly.
My name is Kelly.
And Kelly, what's your last name?
My name is Kelly Pagoda.
All right. And could you spell your name for us?
KELLYPAGUADA.
All right. And Kelly, how old are you?
I'm 17 years old.
All right. Now, in 2022, July of 2022, how old were you?
I was 15.
15 years old. All right. And are you in school?
Yes, I am in school.
And where do you go to school at?
I go to school in Acceleration Academy.
Okay. Are you off for the summer?
No, it's all year round school.
Year-round school. So no summer break for you?
No.
All right. Did you at least get a break today being here?
I did.
So
that was weird. That's not a good break.
You, just a little bit about you. Where do you live at currently?
I live at Sterling Glen Apartments.
And did you live there back in July of 2022?
Yes, I did.
All right. If you go ahead and put up for me exhibit number 50, it's already been admitted into evidence. I'm going to show you this, just an aerial map of that apartment complex. If you could, I want you to tell the jury which apartment building is yours.
Right.
Okay. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, now that's one at a time.
So, yeah.
Okay. You've got to answer out loud.
Okay.
Okay. Can you, it may be easier for you to step down or tell me which building is yours.
You can just be careful. There's steps going down the podium.
Where the little location icon is at? Right there?
I think it's more towards this.
Okay. I know it's weird looking at it from an above view, but when you come into the neighborhood over here.
It's like from the office area, you go down this way, so I live like right here.
Okay, right there.
And ma'am, my court reporter can't hear you. I can tell. So that's okay. Just if you speak loudly when you're away from the microphone.
Okay.
I didn't mean to bring you back. If Mr. Delphine, if you need her down there, that's okay.
I think I got what I needed, Judge.
Okay.
That's all right.
Oh Lord, poor Kelly.
Yeah, whenever you step down and turn around, it's a little bit quiet.
Yeah, she look a little faster than all the rest of them.
You're fine.
Her makeup, them eyelashes.
Did you, at the time, how long have you lived there?
About, I don't know, like 10 years probably.
Okay. And so I imagine you got to know a lot of people there. Did you ever meet a girl named Alyssa Marvin?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you know which apartment building was hers?
I didn't know, but I know where she lived.
You know where she lived?
Yeah.
Are you able to point it out? If you don't remember, that's okay.
It's just on the other side of my building, like behind mine.
Okay. And on your screen, so you don't have to step down again. Can you see where it is on your screen?
It's right behind my building, like on the other side.
So one road down. So I'm gonna come over here. Is this about where she lived at? Over here in this area?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever visit her there?
Yes, I did.
Now, tell me about Susanna Morales. Were you friends with Susanna?
Yes, I was friends with her.
How did you meet her?
I met her at school in the restroom, and ever since then, we didn't stop talking.
So you met her. What school was it?
At Meadow Creek High School.
Meadow Creek High.
I'm gonna get you to come on toward the microphone, or you can pull them toward her. Yeah. All right, there's some tissue right there, ma'am.
It's all right. You can take it.
Can y'all imagine how she must feel?
Right.
And this was the last place she was
fine.
seen at.
Thank
Can
you.
y'all imagine for a young girl to feel that way?
No, I'm fine.
Kelly, you said that you met her there at the school, and were you got kind of inseparable from then on?
Yes, we were.
And how long, and we don't need exact dates, but just the best that you can remember, how long before her death was it that you guys met and started spending time together?
Can you ask that in a different way?
Sure. How long before she disappeared did you meet her?
Like, I'm gonna say like a year.
Okay. And how often did you talk to her?
I talked to her every day. Like, we hung out every day since the day we met.
Now, where would y'all spend time together at?
It would usually be at my house or Esmeralda's house.
So were you and Susanna and Esmeralda all friends?
Yes, we were.
So did you ever hang out over at Susanna's house?
Sometimes.
You
Like,
said sometimes. How many times did you spend?
Like 3 times the most.
So obviously, it sounds like more times at your house
Yeah.
or at Esmeralda's house. Now, what did you call Susanna?
Susie?
Susie.
Mhm.
Now, tell us a little bit about Susie. What kind of things did she enjoy doing?
She liked going out. She liked going to parties. Or she really just liked to be with her friends or with me, like we didn't have to go nowhere. We could just be together at my house. But yeah.
And what kind of things did y'all talk about?
We talk about boys, school, our future
Welcome back, ladies.
plans,
This is
and,
Kelly.
all of that.
And Kelly, you're doing a great job, but if you could just
lean.
speak up just a little.
Sorry.
You pull the microphones towards you, towards your mouth.
I'm a little bit closer to you than Ms. Drake and some of the jury members, so I'll
Yeah.
make sure everybody can hear you all right. Was she happy?
She really was.
And when y'all would spend time together, would you oftentimes smoke marijuana together?
Yes, we would.
I want to bring you to such a time on July 26th, 2022. Did you see her the night she disappeared?
Yes, I did.
Tell the jury kind of just walk us through if you can that night.
So basically, we just planned to hang out that night, and we ended up going to Alyssa's apartment, and we didn't go in her house, but we were just at her staircase, and I was piercing her sister-in-law, and we were just smoking. We were just hanging out, and then by the time it was like 9, I told her we had to go home because she could not sleep over at my house. It wasn't allowed. So then we ended up walking to the back of the gate to the apartments, and then I just said goodbye, and then I never saw her again.
And so just a few follow-up questions
Mhm.
about that. Would you put up exhibit 49 for me? When you guys got together that night, how did Susanna get to your house?
I think she walked, but don't quote me on that. Like, I think she walked over to my house.
Unfortunately, we are quoting these because it's all being taken.
Sorry.
No, you don't really know.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's okay. Did she just show up at your front door, or did you meet her somewhere?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
That's okay. Do you remember, and again, we're not looking for exacts.
Yeah.
Just approximately, if you best you can remember.
Mhm.
Do you remember when she came over?
It was like in the afternoon, like at 4, 6, because it was around the time my mom had got home, and she usually got home around that time. So
What
yeah,
time was
like
it?
4, 6, like in the afternoon. Yeah.
Do you recall? I mean, how long do you think that you two hung out together before she ended up going home?
Like 4 or 5 hours.
And did you spend time at? How long were you? Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you just to describe. Was it all at Alyssa's house, or were you at your house, son?
I don't know. I don't remember.
That's okay. So up on the screen, and you have it there, is our State's Exhibit 49. Do you recognize that?
I do.
Okay. Is that you in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, where was this? Do you recall where this photograph was
Yeah,
taken?
that was at Alyssa's apartment.
Now, it says on there 9:04 p.m. July 26th when that, I think it's a video, or a photograph was taken. Do you remember how long after this that you had started walking Susanna home? Or to the end of the edge of the neighborhood?
Probably like around 9 or 10. Like I started walking with her.
You said around 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Photograph here is taken.
So yeah, 9. I mean at 9:30. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
So, and this has been a long time. So
Yeah.
if you don't remember something, you're doing a great job. Just tell me you don't remember. You walked her, and I'm going to put, if you could, just put up exhibit 50 for me. Did you walk her to the main entrance of Sterling Glen?
No.
Or a different entrance or exit?
Yeah, it was my back entrance by the golf course.
Okay. Now, can you see that photograph? We were just looking at this one, State's Exhibit 50. Are you able to see where it is that you walked her to?
Yeah, I walked her right there.
Okay, now you're pointing on the screen so that you don't have to get up. I'm gonna point where you were pointing and you tell me if I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm right, okay? So you were pointing up here?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so this road here, as I'm looking at it, does that exit onto Singleton Road?
Yes.
Okay, so you walked her to there?
Yeah, the gate.
To the gate.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna show you what I've marked. I don't know if I showed them straight, so let me show her. Mark the State's Exhibit 36. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 36? Take a look at it. Let me know if you recognize it.
Yes, that's the back of my gate.
I'm sorry, it's what?
That's the back of my gate.
Welcome
Okay.
back,
Yeah.
Captain.
The back of the gate. Is that the gate that you were just talking about that you walked
Yes,
into?
that's the
Is
gate.
this a fair and accurate photograph? Of that
Yes.
gate? All right. And again, you're doing great, but I need to make sure that I finish my question on the way before you answer
Okay,
it,
sorry.
so that Miss Sheila can take it all down, okay?
Mhm.
Judge, I move to admit State's Exhibit number 36.
No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 36 is admitted without objection.
Oh, is it your honor?
Yes.
Put it on, please. All right. This here, you described this as being the back gate of the Sterling Glen Apartments.
Yes.
Now, where can you see on this photograph where you walked Susanna to?
Yes, it was just right about there. Like, can you point at it?
Okay. Did you walk into the sidewalk?
No, I didn't. I
Okay,
didn't
so-
go past
so-
the gate.
So you never passed the gate here,
Yeah, I didn't.
but you walked her to the edge here, up near the gate?
Yes.
Okay. And where did she go?
She went that way. Like,
That way, all right.
Going
So
towards her
I know you're
house.
pointing, but I want to make sure we're clear.
Yes.
Did she walk down Singleton Road
Yes, she
in this
did.
direction?
Yes, she did.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna ask you to wait.
Okay,
till
sorry.
Mr. Delphont finishes his statement. But
Yeah,
you
she
can
real
answer
young.
your
She younger than
questions.
the other
Laura's only
was.
ask you questions.
Hey, under the
and
new
you can just take
management,
a breath
welcome.
and then answer.
Okay.
We have to have a good record, okay? It's human nature to do that.
Okay.
You can hear her immaturity.
Kelly, you indicated a moment ago, did she walk down, kind of to the right of this photograph down Singleton Road?
Yes.
And is that the direction in which she lived?
Yes.
Do you know of any other reason for her to walk that direction that night?
No.
Where was she going?
She was going home
And how did you know that?
because where else would she have gone? Like, we planned to hang out the next day, so she had to have gone home.
And I want to be a little bit clear. As the night's wrapping up,
Yeah.
right, most of the time if you're at a party or hanging out with friends, you don't just disappear, right? There's a conversation, I gotta go home, it's time to go home, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, something like that.
Yes.
Did y'all have any kind of conversation?
Welcome back,
that
OG.
night
I held
where,
your seat.
to close down the night, right? At the end of the night?
Yes.
But let me ask you, did she tell you she was going home?
Yes, she did.
And where did you go?
Real quick, let me give a shout out to my cloud watchers. M. Renee is somewhere up there. You ain't got to drop down. I know you at work. I know Miss Step 219 somewhere. Shout out to my Lit Lane jurors. Even when you're not in the chat, I know y'all here.
I went home as well.
Now, as soon as you started walking down Singleton Road, did you turn around and just go back to your house at that point, or did you watch
Yes.
her?
No, I didn't watch her. I just turned around.
At any point that night, as you're walking out to walking her out to Singleton Road for her to leave, did she tell you anything about wanting to go and meet up with a boy or go and get drugs or anything like that?
No.
Did she say she was going to go anywhere or do anything other than go home?
No.
Was she upset?
No.
Was she ticked off at her mom?
No.
Was she scared of going home?
No.
Who do you know at the time who Susanna was dating?
Yes.
Who was she dating?
She was dating Axel.
Axel.
Or what? I don't know. I was like, I don't know his name. But
Is it Axel?
I think so, yes.
Okay. All right. Did you know him?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever met him?
No.
Did she tell you about him?
Yes.
And how did she feel about him?
She really liked him.
You knew Susanna for about a year.
Yes.
You spent about every day with her, or close to that. Talk to her every day?
Yes.
And y'all would talk about boys?
Yes.
Was Susanna, was she the kind of girl that, when she was dating Axel, did she talk about going and meeting up with strange men, things like that, or hooking up with other men while she was with Axel?
No.
Did you ever know Susanna to be the girl that would get into a car with somebody she barely knew or didn't know at all?
No.
See, it's easier for her to be silly than it is to really be serious, because then that's real sad, you know?
That night, once she
They be looking grown, but they
left,
kids.
what was the first sign you got that something might be wrong?
The next morning, Esmeralda texted me if I had known anything about her. And I told her no, because she told me she went home, and then I had called her and she wasn't answering or picking up her phone. So that's
Thank
when
you
I
for the
knew
love on the
that
Cash
something
App.
was wrong.
So that's the next morning.
Yes.
And, daylight hours?
Yes, like in the morning.
So the rest of that night, once you turned around and went back to your apartment, you had no idea that anything had happened.
No, I didn't.
Once Esmeralda asked you, did you try to reach out to Susanna?
Yes, I did.
Did you get any response from Susanna? Any calls or text messages once you tried to reach her?
No, I didn't.
Were you able to participate in any of looking around or trying to find her in any way?
No, I wasn't.
Now, after that night, after you saw her walk down Singleton Road and disappear, did you ever hear from her again?
No, I didn't.
How did you hear about the police finding her body?
It was through Esmeralda, and she called me. Just give me 1 second. And she was like, that they had found her. But I thought like she was still alive. Like they found her, because she had been missing. But then she told me that she was dead. And then they had just found her remains. And then I hung up the phone call. And I want to go see her after.
I apologize.
I'm sorry. And then I went to go see Esmeralda afterwards.
When you found out that she was not alive, that she was dead, what went through your mind?
It was just really disappointing because I had hoped that we would find her and then that she was just somewhere else, but she wasn't. And it was just really heartbreaking.
You're so sad.
I'm sorry, I don't be talking about it.
You don't have to apologize.
Indeed, Lady Steph, they couldn't determine the exact cause of death because there wasn't nothing left but her skeleton.
Stay seated. The defense may have some questions for you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know we've probably seen each other out in the hallway, but we haven't officially met. Did you have to be home by 10 o'clock?
Yes, I did.
So you would have walked her out probably right around 10.
Yes.
Why could she not spend the night at your house?
My mom didn't allow any sleepovers.
None at all. It wasn't anything to do with.
No.
Now, you met her a year before at Meadow Creek High School.
Yes.
Did y'all attend any other schools together?
No, we didn't.
Did you attend any other schools?
Yes, I did.
Where did you attend?
I went to Gibbs Center West.
And what is Gibbs Center?
It's an alternative school.
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to get you.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna have to get you. Okay, wait for Ms. Drake's question and then speak into the microphone so that we
Okay.
can take down.
Welcome back, Miss Steph
Sorry.
219.
Is there a
My,
particular
my, my.
reason why you walked her to the back entrance? Was that just closer to her apartment or something?
Yes, because I couldn't walk her all the way home
Why?
because I didn't want to. Like, I couldn't. It was too late.
A little bit too high, maybe?
What do you mean?
Too high from smoking?
No, I just couldn't walk her down.
Did she?
Not she was too high.
Call her mother to come pick her up?
No, she
Why did
didn't.
woman say a little bit too high?
Did your mom offer to give her a ride home?
No, she didn't.
If she left, may I approach your business?
Certainly. You don't have to ask.
Oh, no, I was just gonna. And I just wanted to clarify something. Thank you, Mr. Delpa, because I didn't do this.
I think the judge told her to ease up.
I just want to clarify, that is like a single picture taken from a full video.
Yes.
And did y'all make other videos that night, or?
Yes.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 18.1. Before I do that, did y'all leave once she got to your apartment other than going to Alyssa's?
Can you ask that one more time?
Other than going to Alyssa's, did y'all leave your apartment?
I don't remember.
Okay. And she would have left a little bit before 10 because you had to be home by 10.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's already been entered as State's Exhibit 18.1. Now this shows that she left about 9:58.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea where this is showing that she's traveling?
My apartment complex.
Within your apartment complex?
Yes.
She's walking around? Why did she end back up at your apartment complex? Did she tell you she was going back to Alyssa's?
No.
Do you know Jasmine, her sister?
No.
Do you know Kaya?
Yes.
Now, whenever y'all would get together to smoke,
Welcome
who
back, Tweety.
provided the marijuana?
It would be both of us.
Thank you for the love on the
She would
cash
bring
app.
her own
Appreciate
marijuana,
y'all.
and you would have your own.
Yes.
Do you know
Ma'am,
where she?
ma'am, I'm gonna ask you to wait till Ms. Drake
Oh,
finishes
I'm
the question.
sorry.
Okay, you've got to not talk over.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I'm
there.
sorry, Ms. Drake.
No, you're fine. So everybody would have their own marijuana.
Yes.
Did Alyssa have her own marijuana that night?
I don't remember.
So y'all were really good friends,
Yes.
and she came over all the time?
Yes.
Did you know that her mother instructed her that she's not to go over and hang out with you?
No.
So if she's hanging out with you a lot of the time, her mother does not know that.
Yes.
How could you possibly know what her mother knows?
Ms. Drake?
Okay, I'll withdraw the question.
Okay.
Did her mother ever bring her to your house?
Yep, this her, Tweety.
No.
I think she's
Did she ever
nervous.
allow her mother to come pick you up at her house?
No.
And she younger than them girls
The
was.
evening that y'all hung out, she told her mother that she was going somewhere else. Did you know
That's
that?
speculation.
I asked her, did she know that? She can say yes or no.
I'm gonna allow the question. I'm gonna rule objection.
Did you know that she had told her mother that she was going to Esmeralda's house and not your house?
No, I didn't know.
Did Esmeralda know that she was coming over to your
I'm
house?
gonna object to speculation.
Yeah.
How did you know what Esmeralda knew?
No,
Yeah, she's 17 now. She was 15 then.
Do you know, yes or no, if Esmeralda knew that she was coming over to your house and not hers?
I'm gonna.
no, I'm gonna sustain that objection.
Okay. Are you and Esmeralda friends?
Yes.
Do you and Susanna, did y'all often cover for each other?
What do you mean?
Cover for each other. Maybe you're going someplace you're not supposed to be, or wanting to skip school or something, help cover for each other.
I guess.
That's a yes. Damn, they making her look
She missed
bad.
a lot of school, to your knowledge.
Object to relevance, Judge.
She didn't have to ask her about that alternative school. She is doing too
Relevant right
much.
now can be
I'm
done.
gonna sustain that objection.
Did you miss a lot of school?
Yes, I did.
I object. Irrelevant. Hey, good, Vixen. Welcome back to the Lit Lane Jury Box. What's the point of character assassinating this young girl? Miss Queenie 98. What's the point of making her look bad?
Oh, let me go back for 1 second. Were you familiar with her social media post?
Yes.
So did you follow those regularly?
Yes.
Did you maybe at first think that she had simply just run away or something?
No.
Do you remember giving an interview to, I believe it's Sergeant Biggards, and I'm sorry if I lost his title. Do you remember talking to him at the Gift Center on January the 5th, excuse me, that's your birthday, on August the 15th of 22?
I don't remember.
You don't remember talking to him at the Gift Center at all?
Was he like the social worker?
He's a police officer with Gwinnett County.
I don't remember talking to an officer at Give West.
Do you remember talking to, perhaps you thought he was a social worker along with the SRO,
I don't know what that is.
the police officer for the school?
No, I don't. I remember.
If I can have just a moment, please.
Certainly.
She might be a little bit high, because when I smoke weed, it wasn't gonna be nowhere in hell I do this shit without smoking first.
Which is fine. Did
just
you
being
and
honest.
Susanna get your marijuana at the same place?
No.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay,
Nothing further.
very good. Okay, may we release this witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Remove it from the station.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, ma'am. You're excused, and you can remain in the courtroom or you can leave. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to start with the next witness because I believe she's going to be the next witness on the stage, she's going to be a little bit more lengthy.
Okay, so let's see. And that's 20 say, no, that's real. No, that's for real. People like to calm their nerves. Right. If they smoke weed, it's not like you're not going to smoke before you go do something like this. And that's why you were considered the bad friend. Really, I was considered the bad friend when I was a teenager. Once I got pregnant, because I got pregnant in high school. At that point in time, everybody thought that me being pregnant was going to be contagious. Okay. I disliked I couldn't do anything as a kid with friends, but now I thank my mom in heaven because these kids nowadays are crazy. Right. But I think kids been always crazy. You know, it's just that now it's so much dangers lurking around the corner for them. And so much, and they think they so grown now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a matter of thinking you was literally grown as hell in the 70s, in the 80s, in the early 90s. These new kids, they literally think they're grown. You know, it's very hard, I think, to really, really rein them in. Let's get to the next. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back because I haven't skipped anybody. The one person I did skip, I think we need to probably hear it. And this is the girl whose house they went to. And it's a short testimony. Yeah, I shouldn't have, and I haven't skipped anybody else. I don't know why. I think I was in a hurry to get to Kelly, child. Look at Miles Bryant. Wait a minute. If you're new to the trial and just joining us, this is the state of Georgia versus Miles Bryant. Miles Bryant was a young police officer, an active policeman on duty in Norcross, Georgia. His victim, the state is alleging that his victim is 16-year-old Susanna Morales. a high school sophomore. She walked to her friend Kelly, who we just saw her house, never made it back home. They found her body, or actually her skeletal remains, 196 days later. And they also found nearby, in the proximity of her skeletal remains, they found what was found out, discovered to be his gun that he reported stolen the same morning that her family reported her missing. Of course, they began an investigation, and we will hear more. Keeps tuning in on how they put this case together. Let's continue. Please hit the like and thank y'all for joining. Uh-oh. Y'all see Winter over there in her chair? My bailiff.
Set it here, ma'am. If you come up on the platform, watch
I gotta get a
out,
picture of
and
Winter.
remain standing
Let me see.
and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please be seated. Ma'am, have you ever testified in
Who
court?
got a big ass forehead?
Okay, this is my court reporter, Sheila. She's taking down everything that you say. I've had my bailiff pour you a cup of water, and we have more water if you need it. You're going to have to answer audibly because she can't see you. So I'm going to get you to say yes or no. You can't really say You can't
I'm
shake
sorry,
your head
Winter.
like you're doing now.
Yes.
Jesus have my
And
apology.
the attorneys may be asked, they're going to be asking you some questions. Just take a breath after they finish their question, and then you can answer it. You may anticipate their question. You want to get out their answer, and you talk over them, and then my court reporter doesn't know who to take down.
Okay.
Okay? So just, and let us know if you need a break.
All right. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right. Can you go ahead and tell us your name, please?
My name is Alyssa Marvin.
All right. And Alyssa, how do you spell your first name
ALYSSA
and your last name?
MARVIN
All right. And Alyssa, where do you live currently, generally?
in New Jersey.
Okay. And your presence here, did you get on a plane yesterday, fly down here for this trial?
Yes, I did.
I want to take you back a couple years, July 2022. Where were you living at that time?
In Sterling Glen Apartments.
All right. And here in Georgia?
Yeah.
And there at that apartment complex, are you from Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. And who were you living with at the time?
My boyfriend's mom.
Your boyfriend and his mom?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to show you a photograph. I've labeled this State's Exhibit number 50. Can you take a look at that? Do you recognize what's contained here in this photograph?
Yeah, the apartment complex.
Okay, the Sterling Glen apartment complex?
Yeah.
Does this appear to be an accurate aerial photograph of that apartment complex?
No, it's accurate.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, I move to admit State's Exhibit number 50.
No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 50 is admitted without objection.
And Judge, may I move to publish this?
Certainly. And ma'am, you've got a screen right here beside you. And I'm gonna, there's kind of a glare, so I'm gonna turn it down, and the attorneys may have questions for you about this exhibit.
All right, Alyssa, can you see that clearly?
Yes.
All right. Could you tell the jury where, if you recall, do you remember what building you were living in at the time?
I don't
You
remember.
the number. By looking at the map, do you know which of these buildings
Yes.
you lived in? And if it's all right with the court, with you, Alyssa, so the jury could see it a little bit better, this is a bigger picture up here. Could you point out which building it is to the jury?
Be careful your step.
Okay, right here. This one right here? Okay. Now, before you sit down, did you, let me get out of the way so everybody can see you, not me. Did you know Kelly Pagoda?
Yes,
Okay. And did she also live there in the neighborhood with you?
yes.
Do you know which building she lived in?
Like kind of behind.
Oh, and I want you to follow. What about it? Up here somewhere?
Lord have
Or one
mercy.
of these buildings?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're down here on this side of it. She's up here on Windscape Village Lane.
Child,
North.
This the friend she
All
smoked
Windscape
weed
Village
with. You
Lane
can tell the
Northwest.
difference, huh?
All of those are named the same thing, but she's up here on this first one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Now, tell me, how did you know Susanna Morales?
I knew Susanna through Kelly. They were walking through the neighborhood one time, and I just saw them, and I was like, y'all are some pretty girls. And I didn't have friends, so that's really how it started. And I said they were pretty, got their number. It started from there.
Okay. And, how long had you known Susanna before she died?
I don't remember an approximate date, but it was during that summer around June and July.
All right, so by July 26th or so you might have known her a month or two
Yeah.
at that time?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. Now, how often would you spend time with Susanna?
I would say we've been around each other at least 4 or 5 times, maybe.
All right. And where would y'all hang out at?
Just the neighborhood.
At the Sterling Glen apartment?
Yeah, Sterling Glen.
All right. When you would hang out with Susanna, would it also be with Kelly each time?
Yeah.
All right. What kind of things would y'all do?
We would just like talk, smoke. We would just really just chill and talk about stuff, you know.
I do. What, you say smoke, you're talking about cigarettes, marijuana?
Marijuana.
Marijuana, okay. And Alyssa, when y'all would hang out, where in the apartment complex would y'all normally hang out at?
Either the pool, the park, on my stairs, or in a laundry room. Because they had laundry rooms, and that's where we would smoke, so when other people won't inhale it and stuff.
Okay,
So.
I understand. So on this map, and you don't have to get up, I can obviously.
No, it just gotta be all in people clothes that they
This is
washing.
what I'm pointing at right here. Is this the pool
Yes.
area of the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay, so y'all would spend time there?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the laundry room, were those in each building, or is it like one common?
It's in some buildings, not all of them.
Okay. Did your building have one that you hung out in?
No.
Okay. And so would you go to a different, what building would you go to?
Well, it was one time we went to a building, and I believe it was the first time we actually hung out, and we were smoking in the. You want me to point where or no?
You can. That's fine if you feel comfortable doing that.
Be careful your
Be
step.
careful, child. Everybody told her little goofy ass to be careful.
Okay.
You could tell the weed heads, baby.
So while y'all are hanging out and talking, and, what are y'all talking about? What kind of things are y'all discussing?
Honestly, I can't remember.
Okay. Just odd and end stuff, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, did you ever talk about boys?
No.
Okay. Did you know whether Susanna was dating anybody at the time that you knew her?
Honestly, I didn't know
What
that.
girls don't talk
Because
about
we didn't
boys?
really talk about, boys and stuff.
Okay, and that's all right. What was, I want to take you to July 26th, 2022. Did you see Susanna that night?
Yes.
And tell the jury, kind of walk us through that night. What happened?
So the night of the 26th, Kelly and Susanna came to my apartment. It was like a little, maybe around 7
it
or
was the
8 o'clock
25th.
p.m. And we started with doing piercings because my sister-in-law wanted a belly piercing. So we were doing a belly piercing, just taking videos. And of course we did smoke. And after that, she ended up, Kelly couldn't have company over after a certain time. It was a school night. So after that, she ended up leaving my apartment. Both of them walked away from my apartment around like 9:30, somewhere around that time. I can't remember specifically what time, but it was around that time they ended up leaving my apartment. From there, I don't know what happened until the day I found out that she was walking with Kelly to the golf court, and then Kelly went home, and then she went, as we thought, home.
Okay. So the last time, what was the last time you saw Susanna?
That night when she walked away.
All right. And I'm going to show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit number 49. I want you to look at this and tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, that was the video we took.
Okay, and obviously this is a piece of paper, so this is not a video, but is this just a still shot of a video?
It's a
Welcome
video,
back to the
yes.
Little Lane Jury Box, CEO, the boss
go
lady.
ahead
Thank you
and
for joining.
for a second. Thank you. Is this a fair and accurate screenshot of that video that you took that night?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I move to admit State's Exhibit number 49 and ask for permission to publish.
No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 49 submitted without objection, and you may publish.
No. Okay. Can you see that?
There's a glare for me. And you can also look at it on this screen.
Yes.
Can the jury see that?
Very true, Tweety.
Okay.
Can you tell us just kind of who's who in this photograph?
That's me, the white girl. That's Kelly in the middle, and that's Susanna on the left side.
Baby, that's her, the white girl.
Taking this video with your phone there?
Yes.
Okay.
I love memories.
What's that?
I love memories.
And this says, it says 9:04 p.m.
Yes.
July 26th at the top. Is that a reference to the time in which this video was taken?
Yes. That was right after the piercing.
Right after the piercing. And
Yeah, you can kind of see, if you kind of zoom in, you can see where the piercing is, because that's like also part of my phone gallery.
where the piercing? Oh, so
Yeah.
you mean over here in one of these photographs?
Yeah, you
there's-
can see like the time frame. And then that was like the last video we took. And then you can see the next video is a video I took when I went inside.
Okay, I understand. Where is this video taken at?
On the stairs at the top.
At your apartment?
Yes.
Okay. And 9:04 p.m., how long after this photograph do you think that Kelly and Susanna walked it off?
I can't remember exactly, but no more like after 9:30.
Now, let me ask you, why did they leave? What was, y'all were having a good time hanging out?
Yeah, we were having a good time, but you know, I have a stepson, so there's a bedtime and I had to get ready to go inside, and then they had a school night, so we're getting prepared for school.
Okay. And so, walk me through, if you can remember best you can, kind of the conversation that's happening right there at the end of the night, right? And as it's coming to a close and they're leaving, what are y'all saying?
It was nice hanging out with you. I'll see you later.
Okay. Where did, at that time, where did you believe that they were going?
I just knew they were going home.
Okay. Had that been the discussion? Everybody was going home?
Yeah.
Maybe the mama didn't
Another
even know
way
nothing
of
about
asking
this girl
a
here.
little differently
Trust
is,
me.
did Susanna or Kelly talk to you or say anything to you about, we're going to go party, we're going to
No.
go do more drugs somewhere, we're going to go
God.
meet some boys, we're going to, anything else?
I
No.
go do some more drugs.
So it was, we're going.
Yeah, her boyfriend had a
Yes.
baby. This girl here. Now this the fast one. She wasn't even going to school. She lived with her boyfriend and his mama. Susanna
night,
mama didn't know nothing
How
about
was
this girl here.
Susanna acting?
What's that? She wouldn't even let out the house.
To me, normal.
And what I mean by that is, was she happy?
Yes,
Was she having a good time with you guys?
definitely. You could kind of see her smiling in the picture.
Did you have, as she left, any concern at that point for?
No.
I'm gonna need y'all to stay in order. Y'all wild tonight, I see.
You mentioned that you didn't, after they left and then walked with Kelly and Susanna, after they walked away, you didn't really know anything else happened odd or weird until the next day?
Correct.
Okay, and what was the first thing that you heard?
The first thing I heard was, well, it wasn't hearing, it was a text from her best friend, Rose, Esme, they call her. And she was just asking me, did I know where Susanna was?
You know what time that was?
Not really, but it was like early in the morning.
And you mean like daytime early in the morning, or
Yes.
like middle of the night early in the morning?
Like after 8 a.m.
That's morning. All right.
Okay.
Had you heard from
Welcome back,
Susanna at all?
family of six.
Any calls, text messages, social media, anything
No,
after she left?
no.
Did y'all have each other's information? You had each other's phone numbers?
We only had each other's Instagram.
Okay, so did y'all communicate on Instagram?
Sometimes, yeah.
Did you have any conversations, communications whatsoever with Susanna on Instagram after she disappeared?
Oh, no.
Did you, were you able to participate in looking for her at all?
I was able to.
Okay, and what did you do?
Well, when we were doing one of the flyers, like putting out flyers, I would put out flyers when I got the chance to, but I was going through a lot at the time, so it was hard for me to focus on what was going on because I was going through a lot.
I understand. That evening, did you notice anybody as y'all were at the apartment complex? Did y'all spend the whole time at your apartment that night?
Yes.
Did you notice anything unusual that night? Anybody watching or anything?
No.
The defendant, Miles Bryant, have you seen him before?
Yes.
In person, have you seen him?
Yes.
Okay. And did you, at the time that this happened, did you know who he was?
Yes.
All right. And tell the jury, how did you know who he was?
We all knew it was a cop in our neighborhood, so we knew him as the cop.
Okay. Did you know where that he resided there in the neighborhood?
Yes.
Did you know what building he was at?
Yes.
All right. And I'm gonna, if we could, let's back up to exhibit number 50.
Okay, y'all, we got action. Wait a minute. Pause. Let's slow it down. So here we go. We got a break in the case. The defendant lived in this girl apartments. She was familiar with them, recognized them from living in the apartments. Okay. All right. I forgot that part. I haven't seen this in almost a year.
Y'all zoom in for me just a little bit. Thank you. Are you able to see in this photograph the building that the defendant lived in?
Yes.
All right, and could you point it out to us?
Yes.
My friend was here.
You have to speak up.
I'm sorry, you had your head turned so the court can hear you.
Mine was here. His was here.
So yours is this building right here.
Yes.
Yeah. And then his is this building right here.
Yes.
How'd you know it was his building? You can have a seat.
I knew it was his building because his truck was always parked there and he always pulled up like in the same truck.
All right, do you recall what kind of truck that was?
I think it was a black truck.
Black truck. Do you have a police car that was there as well?
Yeah, Dorville.
Okay. And so you said everybody knew who he was. He was he the courtesy officer for that neighborhood complex?
I honestly don't know that.
Okay. Now, had you ever had any personal interactions with the defendant before Susanna disappeared?
Yes.
And can you tell us what those are?
So there was one time, well, there was multiple times he would drive by and, he'll say hello and everything to everyone. And there was one time we were at the pool and it was me and Kelly. Susanna came after, like towards the end before we left, but we were there at the pool and he came with his backpack and he had, a drink with him and he had little shot cups and he had edibles and stuff. And he asked how old I was. And then when I told him my age, he still wanted to talk to me, but didn't talk to me because of my age. So he knew not to drink with me, but he wanted to drink with me before he knew my age. But he still offered the edibles. But then that was the interaction I had with him that night. And before we left, I believe it was the same day, we wanted to order pizza because, it's a hot day outside. Someone wants to eat. We wanted to eat and we was going to order pizza. He offered us to give us a ride to get pizza, but we said no because we're underage, you're grown, so we said no to that. We ordered pizza. We went home about our day. That was like the one, like I could say face-to-face interaction, full conversation.
And Susanna was with you
Yes.
during those?
Yes.
Now,
A real
the
predator.
defendant, was he talking to you or talking to both of you?
No, he was talking to me.
I'm going to show you a
Photograph, marked State's Exhibit number 39.
Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
All right, and how do you recognize it?
That was the night we were leaving the pool.
All right, night you say we were leaving the pool. I know who you're talking about, but
Oh, that was the night me, Kelly, my stepson, Susanna, and my sister-in-law were leaving the pool to walk home.
Okay. Now, you see you're leaving the pool. Is that the same incident you're talking about where the
Boom,
where the
exactly,
defendant
living,
comes to the pool?
exactly.
See you guys?
Yes.
And OG Wu
Is
Child,
that a
everybody
fair and
right,
accurate? What is this photograph of?
including
It's of
Sweetie. Don't tell her
Susanna
nothing.
holding my stepson because she loved holding kids.
Okay. And is this a fair and accurate photograph? of her?
Yes. Yes.
Judge, I move to admit State's Exhibit 39 and ask for permission to publish.
No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 39 submitted without objection, and go ahead and publish.
Would you publish this? Okay. All right, so here at the top of that photograph, if we can zoom in kind of closer to the top if you can. There we go. There appears to be a location and date
Yes.
up there. Is that, does that reference when this photograph was taken?
Yes.
All right, and what is the location and the date?
Sterling Glen Apartments around, it was July 20th.
Okay. Now, I'm there was going to be another question I had, but in
Okay.
terms of this photograph, where does the photograph say it was taken?
Oh, it says it was taken July
Yes,
30th,
Priscilla.
2022 at 3:31 p.m.
Okay, and is it in Norcross?
Yes.
Okay. July, and it says July 20th,
Yes.
2022?
Yes.
So that was, this photograph was taken about 6 days before Susanna was last seen.
Yes.
And this is your stepson?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. The incident with the pizza, was that the same day or a different day?
I believe it was the same day.
Same day, okay.
Yeah,
So
but I think they still saw each
so
other in
the
passing in
defendant
step
offered
219.
You and Susanna and Kelly a ride to go get pizza?
I can't remember who exactly he offered a ride, but I know for sure it was me and my sister-in-law.
Okay. All right. And y'all turned him down?
Yes.
You mentioned that he gave you edibles. There's like THC edibles?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you take any?
Yes.
Did you ever, other than smoking marijuana with Susanna, did you ever take any other drugs with her?
No.
And after that day, as they walked away, have you ever seen or heard from Susanna again?
From
Susanna, after that day?
which night? Which day?
I'm sorry, I should have been more clear. After she disappeared, July 26th, and Kelly and her walked away from your apartment, have you ever seen or heard from her again?
No.
Alyssa, I appreciate you being here and taking the time. Ms. Drakeman has some questions for you.
Does the fence have any questions?
Oh, hell no. We're going to have to break this down a little bit, okay? So, let me go back up and read some of the comments, okay? Wow. He probably told that poor girl it's getting dark. Let me take you home. Exactly. Because even though she didn't know him, knowing of him in that apartment, knowing he a police officer, seeing him in uniform, seeing him in his cop car, it does bring upon a sense of familiarity, right? Just the mere fact that he was a police officer alone brings about a sense of safety, security, trustworthiness. And then you add on top of that, that's on her side about maybe how he might have got her in the car. Hey, it's dark out here. It's getting late. I know y'all been around there smoking. Let me go ahead and take you home. Now, on his side of things, what's real messed up and what's weird is the fact that he was pretty much been a predator on them girls. Any girls. They at the pool, a bunch of young girls at the pool. He come to the pool with a backpack with drugs and alcohol. He trying to ingratiate himself with them girls, any of them, because he tried with this girl, the other girls. And he offering them drugs and alcohol. He trying to put himself in this mix, trying to make himself useful. What the hell wrong with him? Mind you, he a young man. He not unattractive. He would seemingly be a good catch, right? What young woman would have a problem with with their daughter dating a young, police officer? Young, on the right track, already got his career. Y'all like that word ingratiate, okay? And asked her age, so he knew they was young and under freaking age for his adult ass. Correct. So for the first time tonight, I'm finna bring up my son then came and closed the door, baby. I must have got loud. So for the first time tonight, I must say this. Do y'all think if this man wouldn't have got caught, that she would have been his only victim? That's just a sidebar question, because something really in my spirit tell me it's a good thing he got caught, unfortunately, with this first victim. I feel like it would have been many, many more, because he was getting started real young with this. Nope. No, Alyssa was next. Tanya say nope. Baby. Rest in peace, little Susanna. Not little Susanna.
Hi, Miss Alyssa. My name is Tracy Drake. We haven't met. I know you got to get going, so I'm going to make this quick. Do you ever remember calling Mr. Bryant 13?
Wait, repeat that?
Have you ever called Mr. Bryant 13?
No, I don't know what that means.
Okay, has he ever hung out with you and your boyfriend?
Not hung out, no, but passed by and said hello, yes.
Okay, maybe have a brief little conversation and then go
Yes.
about each other's ways. Okay. And how old were you? And I'm sorry if you've already answered this. How old were you back in July of 2022?
I was 17.
Welcome back to the lounge.
And so legally an adult at 17, but still too young to drink, correct?
Right.
And your sister-in-law, how old was she?
She was the same age as me.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Stated, may we direct? May we release Miss Martin? Miss Marvin?
Yes.
No, Miss Marvin, may we release?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Yes, and just for the record, she will be departing and not subject to recall.
Not subject to recall. Thank you, ma'am. Have a safe flight home.
Thank you.
Oh, you show right, foot soldier. Foot soldier say, I think we don't know if there isn't other.
If the attorneys will approach.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me pause it right here, because this is when they then came Kelly. We just watched her testify. Excuse me for one moment. Talk amongst yourself. Thank y'all for supporting. Don't go anywhere. One moment, please.
And if we run out, I have bottle.
All right, this is the official day
refrigerator,
2
but you can grab one at any time.
of the
If we
trial,
run out.
the next day. Yeah, she went hard on the other girl because this girl had more bad things to say. Okay, this girl, the last girl, made him look bad. Queenie, we just might have found out the connection between the defendant and how he may have seen or came into proximity of our victim Susanna. He was the duty cop at the apartments where they was over there smoking weed at.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I didn't see the dateline on this. I'm
Good
gonna look
morning.
it up.
Just come right up here, ma'am.
Oh, I think I remember who this is. Y'all check this out.
If you'll raise your right hand, you'll look at me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated, ma'am. And Ms. Castillo, have you ever testified in court?
No.
Okay. My bailiff has given you a cup of water. That's fresh water. We have more behind you if you need some more. Everyone in the courtroom has to hear you, but especially this is my court reporter right here. Her name is Sheila. She cannot see in the back of her head, so she can't tell if you nod or say uh-huh or uh-uh. So we may say, would you please answer yes or no? Is that a yes? We're going to need you to come forward or to bring the microphones up towards your mouth so you can be heard. And lastly, the attorneys are going to have some questions for you, and you may anticipate the questions, and you may want to make sure you get the answers out and start talking before they finish their
This
questions.
judge just as sweet as I am.
Then Sheila
Okay.
can't take down both of you. She has to make a decision, and then we don't get a perfect record. Okay? So with those rules, I'm going to let Mr. Delfunk start the questioning. Okay?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury? Give us your name.
Hi, my name's Esmeralda Castillo.
All right. And would you mind spelling your name, please?
ESMERALDA. Castillo will be CASTILLO.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this is the
And
other friend. This is not
Esmeralda,
who I
what
thought
do
it
you-
was.
What do you normally go by? What name do you normally go by?
I go by Rose.
Rose, okay. Do you mind if I call you Rose? Okay. As I ask you questions, if I ask you anything that you don't understand, just go ahead and let me know, okay? And I can rephrase that question, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Rose, can you tell me, tell the jury, how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
18. In July of 2022, when Susanna was killed.
Okay, so I had this person wrong. This is Esmeralda, the other best friend, the other friend that the mom approved of. This is the girl whose house Susanna said she was going to, but she didn't. Okay. They all look different ages, but they all was about the same age. She looked grown too.
How old were you then?
16 years old.
And where do you live?
I live in Hoy Taylor Drive in Norcross.
Is it Hoy Taylor Drive?
Hoy Taylor.
Okay. And who do you live with?
My mother and my little brother.
All right. Back in July of 2022, did you live at that same house?
Yes, sir.
And who did you live with at that time?
My mother and my little brother.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you, if I can, a map here, which has already been admitted as State's Exhibit number 32. All right, I'm going to walk up to you now.
Certainly.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stand behind you over here, if I can, so the jury can see. Can you see this as I'm holding it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So on this map here is Singleton Road here, and this is Santa Ana Drive, where Susanna lived. Where do you live in relation to Susanna?
I lived in the neighborhood across from her.
Okay, so this road, and I'm going to turn this just so we can see everybody here. This road here, directly across the street from Santa Ana Drive, is that Hoy Taylor Drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long, did you ever visit Susanna at her home?
Yes.
Did she ever visit you at your home?
Yes.
And how long of a trip is it if you are walking to, in between the two of your homes?
Depending on how long it takes for us to cross the road, because that is a busy road, it could take 5 minutes most.
At most.
At most, yeah.
So if it's a really busy day and you have to wait for traffic to pass on Singleton, and it's a bad day, that's at 5 minutes at most.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so less than that normally if it's not busy.
Yes.
How often would you see Susanna?
At least once a week at her house.
At her house?
At her house, at least once a week.
And she would come and visit you at your house?
Yes.
Tell the jury, just walk us through a little bit. How did you meet Susanna?
I met Susanna in middle school. We had a class together and we just became friends.
What middle school was that?
Red Loft Middle.
And how long before she was killed did you meet her? How long had you known her?
I would say 5 years.
Now, describe your relationship with Susanna.
We were friends, as any best friends are. We would argue, but for the most part, we had fun together. We didn't have to do much to be happy around each other.
You described her as, was she your best friend?
Yes.
What kind of things would y'all do together?
We would go roller skating. We would watch TikToks in my room, paint, play instruments, girl stuff.
I understand. What kind of instruments did y'all play?
I had a piano at my house and a ukulele. She had one of her own as well, so we would use those.
And you said that you met her at Red Loft Middle School. After you finished middle school, did y'all attend school anywhere else together?
We attended Meadow Creek for 1 year together.
Are you in school now?
Yes.
Okay. And where are you in school at?
I just finished at Phoenix High School.
Did you just graduate?
No, I'm in the current process of getting my diploma.
Fantastic. And so you said that in a week's period of time, how many times did you and Susanna hang out in total?
Almost every day.
Almost every day. Now, that's hanging out in person.
Yes.
And as people do, particularly younger teenagers, did you also text and send messages on social media between each other?
Yes.
And was that an everyday thing?
I don't think she
Yes.
smoke either. You could tell the ones of
No.
her friends that smoke and which ones don't.
Describe for the jury.
And hey,
Did you
Jim.
call her Susanna or did you call her something different?
I called her Susanna.
Susanna, okay. Was she happy?
She was very happy.
All right. And when y'all were hanging out together, was she happy?
Yes.
You and her were best friends, but were there other people that you two would hang out with in a friend group?
Yes.
Who were they?
That would be Kaya.
All right. Kaya Jones?
Kaya Jones.
Okay. And how did you know Kaya?
We also met through middle school in the same class that I met Susanna.
Was that around the same time?
We all met at the same time.
Okay. So you and Susanna and Kaya, at the time that Susanna was missing, when Missing was killed, y'all had been friends for about 5 years?
Yes, sir.
And would y'all spend time together in a friend group?
Yes.
Did you know any of other friends of Susanna's, Kelly or Alyssa?
Yes.
All right. And tell me, how did you know that?
Susanna introduced me to them
Okay.
just
And
on a random day.
could you repeat that last part?
Just on a random day, she introduced me to them.
Okay. And how long had you known them? When did you meet them?
I met Kelly maybe a year before Susanna went missing, and Alyssa a couple weeks before she went missing.
Did you ever spend time as a group together with Susanna and Kelly or Alyssa?
I spent time
Prosecution.
with Kelly, yes.
And where
Thank
would,
you, Jill,
where
for
would you guys
supporting.
spend time?
My house.
Now, is your family that you live with, was your mom okay with your friends coming over and spending time at your house?
Yes.
I find that oftentimes in a friend group, there's someone's house who tends to be kind of the hangout house. Was that your house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how often would you spend time together with Susanna and Kelly and Kaya?
All of us, maybe a couple times a week, 2-3 times.
Mostly at your house or somewhere else?
Mostly at my house.
Did you ever spend time together with them over at the Sterling Glen apartments where Kelly and Alyssa lived?
Yes, sir.
And tell us about that. Where would you go, or where would you spend time at over there?
We would be at the park mostly. If not the park, we'd stay on the staircase near Alyssa's
Yeah, she
house,
smoked too.
or we'll just be in Kelly's room.
Okay. Now, during those times when you were hanging out with Susanna and the other girls, would y'all ever smoke marijuana together?
I would not.
You would not. Were they ever smoking marijuana while you were
Yes.
My bad. Sorry, girl.
I want to take you to July 26th of 2022, the day that Susanna was taken. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
And if you would, please tell the jury, where were you at that day?
I was at home.
Had you seen Susanna that day?
No.
When was the last time, if you remember, that you saw Susanna in person before she was taken?
Maybe 2 days prior.
And what were y'all doing?
I believe we were just hanging out at a party and at my house.
Okay. Now, you have phone number.
Jill said,
You have their phone number, Susanna's phone number, Kaya's, Kelly's phone numbers.
Yes.
Would y'all text and call and send messages to one another over the phones?
Yes.
On that night, July 26th, 2022, what was the first time that you realized something might be wrong with Susanna? What was the first thing that happened?
When her mother had called me asking me where she was, and I had called her and I didn't get a response from her.
Okay, so tell us about that. Did you get a call from Susanna's mother?
Yes.
And did you answer that call?
Yes.
And if you recall, what time was that?
I did not remember.
Now let me ask you, was it daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
And what were you doing when you got the call?
I was in bed.
Did you, had you texted with, before Susanna's mother called you, had you texted with Susanna or talked with her that day?
No.
When Susanna's mother called you, did you know where Susanna was at that time?
No.
So tell us a little bit about that phone call. What happened during that phone call with Susanna's mother?
She called me asking if Susanna was at my house. Of course, that's my best friend, so I will back her up. I told her that Susanna was leaving while I was able to get enough time to get a hold of Susanna.
Okay. So Susanna was not at your house, but you told her mother that essentially she was at your house and that she was leaving.
Yes.
Why'd you do that?
Because Susanna's my best friend and I didn't want her to get in trouble.
Okay. So so you were covering for Susanna.
Yes.
But at that time, when you told Susanna's mother that, did you know where Susanna was at?
No.
After you, I can imagine as a best friend, and you just told her mother that, did you try to contact Susanna?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I contacted her, calling her, no response. So I texted her and told her that her mother was looking for her and she better be on her way home before I get in trouble.
Okay. And do you have any idea approximately what time you sent those messages to Susanna?
I do not remember what time.
Okay. Did you ever receive a phone call or a text back from Susanna kind of acknowledging the messages that you had sent to her?
No.
So after you sent those messages to Susanna, tell us what was kind of the next thing that happened that night, if you remember.
I started contacting Kelly and Kaya to see if maybe she was with them. That is when Kelly had informed me that she had hung out with her prior, but she had already left her house.
Okay. So did you call Kelly or did you text her or was it on social media? Do you remember?
I believe I texted her on Instagram.
Instagram. Now, you reached out to Kelly. You were just asking, have you seen her, or what was the nature of the message you sent?
I asked her if she was with Susanna.
And what was her response?
She said that she had just left her house.
So once Kelly sent, and did she respond to you on Instagram at that point?
Yes.
All right. Now, after you got that message, what'd you do?
After I got that message, I had contacted Kaya just to double make sure because I didn't have her location. And that is when Kaya, we were just on the phone. I don't remember what happened after that.
Now, you said you didn't have her location. Do you mean Susanna's location?
Yes, sir.
And how would you have had her location?
You can have someone's location through iPhone or Life 360.
Did you have those applications? Well, I know on the iPhone, there's the Find My iPhone feature that's on that. Did you have the ability to see Susanna's location with the Find My iPhone feature?
I did, but I did not use it.
Okay, so that now you didn't look at the Find My iPhone?
Yes.
Life 360, did you have that application?
Not at that time.
Not at that time, okay. Had you had it before?
Yes.
And when you had it before, were you sharing your location with Susanna?
Yes.
Was she sharing her location with you?
Yes.
Now, how long before she was taken did that stop? Did you stop using the Life 360 application?
I don't remember.
And maybe a better question, just to kind of narrow it down. It was before that day. Was it before that day that you stopped using the Life 360 application?
Yes.
So when you looked, you didn't have any way to see where Susanna was at that time.
Yes.
So because of that, did you contact Kaya?
Yes.
Now, why did you contact Kaya?
Just to double make sure that she was in the correct area.
Did Kaya, to your understanding, did Kaya have the ability to check and see where her location was?
She did.
I'm sorry?
She did.
Okay. When you called Kaya, did she give you any information about Susanna's location?
I don't really remember the conversation we had, but to my knowledge, I don't even think she answered that phone call when I called her. We had talked afterwards.
Okay, so we'll get to that. But you called Kaya did you call her pretty quickly after Susanna's mother called you?
Shortly after.
And to your recollection, she didn't answer that call at that time.
Yes.
How long after that did you actually talk to Kaya?
Kaya had called me a couple minutes afterwards.
And so you talked to her at that point?
Yes.
At some point, did Kaya send you screenshots or location information for Susanna?
Yes.
What kind of things, what was, if you remember, what did she send you?
She had sent me a crash detection alert that she had gotten through her phone. So it was a screenshot of that, of Susanna possibly being in a car crash.
You got that information from Kaya, and when you got it, your best friend possibly being involved in a car crash, what did you do?
I kind of freaked out because I hadn't heard from her and I knew she wasn't home yet through her mother. So I had gotten on the phone with Kaya to speak about it, and I woke up my sister and we went to the location of where the car crash was detected.
So your sister, what's your sister's name?
Zaire Parada. Zaire Parada.
Zaire?
Zaire.
Very good. How do you spell that?
Zaire.
And what was her last name?
Parada.
How do you spell that?
Parada.
She was living with you and your mother?
No, she was just there for the night.
Okay. Where does she normally stay?
I believe she stayed in Sterling Glen Apartments at that time.
Okay. And so you did your sister ever hang out with Susanna? Did you know her?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you contacted your sister and walk us through what happened when you contacted her.
I woke her up. She was sleeping, and I had told her that Susanna might possibly be in a car crash. So with that being said, she had contacted her boyfriend, which then me, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend went to the location to check.
All right, you say you went to the location. Do you remember what that location was?
It was these townhomes nearby our neighborhood.
All right. And I'm going to show you something that's already been admitted as State's Exhibit number 51. It's been previously identified as the Oak Lock Trace neighborhood here. Is this where you went?
Yes.
All right. Now, why did you go to that location? If you would, could you put up exhibit number 51 is not scanned in. That's the only one that's not scanned in. The Oak Lock Trace neighborhood, why did you go there?
This is where the location was at.
Okay. Now, you say the location. What location was that?
The location that Life 360 had said her phone was at.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you here State's Exhibit. It's been admitted. Actually, I don't think it has been admitted yet. Let me show you this. Down here, State's Exhibit number 33. I know this is a big map down here, but I want to draw your attention down here to the bottom right-hand corner. Are you familiar with the area that you live in?
Yes.
Okay. And looking down here at this map on the bottom right-hand side, do you recognize this area?
Yes.
All right. And what is it?
A neighborhood?
Well, just very generally, is this the area, the neighborhood around which you live?
Yes.
Okay. Does it appear to be fair and accurate representation of the area where you live?
Yes.
All right. And then, of course, there's the much larger map of much of Gwinnett County here. As you look at that, just very generally, does this appear to be an accurate map of the area of Gwinnett County?
Yes.
All right. And Judge, I've moved to admit State's Exhibit number 33.
No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 33 is admitted without objection.
Judge, may I publish this?
Okay, Peach Cobbler, we're gonna keep your seat.
Bella, would you mind handing me that easel? Turn this, and I'm gonna get out of the way. Okay, and would you mind coming down off the stand just to help me out here for a second?
What's your step? There's 2 steps there, okay?
If you can come around here, I'm gonna turn this so that the jury can see it gets out of the way. There we go. And Ms. Drake, if you need to move, of course, I'm probably blocking your view.
Ms. Drake, feel free to move wherever you need to move.
Down here on the right-hand side, we're here where it says Susanna Morales' home. Does that appear accurate to you? Where her home is? Okay. And because you're no longer in front of the microphones, you are soft-spoken. If you can, just speak up a little bit and make sure the court reporter.
This is the first time we see in this map, this little part here.
The area over here where it says Oak Lock Trace, is that where you went to go look for Susanna?
Yes.
You live across the street from Santa Ana over here on Boyd Taylor, maybe kind of cut off a little bit over here. But how far is it from where your house is to the Oak Lock Trace neighborhood where you went from?
Maybe around 5 to 6 minutes
Is that if you're walking or if you're in a car?
in a car.
Okay. And that night, when you went to the Oak Lock Trace neighborhood, were you walking there or were you in a car?
I was in a car.
All right. And who was in the car with you?
My sister and her boyfriend.
Was it your car or was it your sister's car?
My sister's car.
She picked you up?
Her car was at my house when we left.
That's right. She was staying at your house that night. Do you remember approximately what time it was whenever you guys left the house to go search the area?
10:50, maybe.
Okay.
Around that time.
And is this at night, 10:50 p.m.?
Yeah.
All right. Then you can have a seat back on the stand.
Yeah, he dropped his gun. Hold on, let me see. So Foot asks a really great question, because Foot Soldier says, why would he leave his gun around? Do you think he panicked afterwards? Because the only thing that linked him, and what got him as a suspect and what got him investigated was the fact that when they found her body all these months later, almost 6 or 7 months later, when they found her skeleton in the same area, that wooded area, that's where they found the defendant's gun. Now, according to the opening statements, the prosecution, the state said that they're going to be able to prove that his phone record's going to show or place him in the same area where the gun was at, the same area where her body was at. They able to place him by phone records right there for like more than 2 hours that night. And then the state said they're going to be able to prove that the next morning he went back to that location where her body was left naked, where his gun was found, presumably to look for his lost gun. He couldn't find his gun that next morning when he returned to the site. And then he called in the gun stolen. Wait till y'all see that. Y'all keep tuning in.
When you got there, tell us what you did when you got to the.
No, it was just a
Oak Lawn
skeleton remaining. They couldn't tell the
I was on
exact
the
cause of
phone with
death.
Kaya, just so I could see, I could hear the location coming
But they
from
didn't see any
Kaya's
footage
phone.
in them.
And with that being
bones.
said, my sister had Susanna's phone number. My sister was calling her phone to see maybe we could find it, or find any debris of any sort of car crash. But that road and that neighborhood was very quiet that night. So obviously there was no car crash.
And that was going to be my next question. Did you see anything that looked like there had been a car crash?
No.
Now, when you're walking around, when you got there, did y'all just drive around the neighborhood or did you get out and walk?
We got out and walked
And how much of the neighborhood did you walk around?
the whole neighborhood.
The road that Oak Lawn Trace is on, that neighborhood, the main road, Steve Reynolds Boulevard. Did you look in the Steve Reynolds Boulevard area there to see if you saw anything?
Yes.
And tell the jury, after going there that night, did you see anything any kind of trace of Susanna?
No.
Did you see her phone?
No.
When your sister called her phone, did y'all hear any ringing or any light or anything like that, or did you find her phone?
No.
How long do you think
Correct,
you were
Lady
out
Snell.
there looking?
Most 20 minutes. We were out there for a while.
Okay. So you went out there looking. After about 20 minutes, tell us what happened, what you did.
After we had no trace of her or her phone, we just headed back home.
And what's going through your mind at this point?
I was just kind of freaking out because I know she was not at her friend's house. She was not at home. So I was just worried for her safety.
Now,
Real quick, that's the link to the original video that we're looking at tonight. I did, you have to go back 8 months, okay, if you want to go scan it. And if you missed the part of the trial, and that, I don't know, but if you missed the part of the trial, you can definitely find it on the playlist here on Trial Watch with Demetra. It's the Miles Bryant, State of Georgia versus Miles Bryant playlist. It'll be easier for you to find it. Let's continue.
this kind of behavior.
Shameless
from
plug.
Susanna, disappearing and not telling anyone where she was at, not calling or responding to calls or texts.
And saw the flights. He
Was
lived in
that-
the same neighborhood, OG.
was that like-
Child.
No.
And tell us what you mean by that.
For that behavior is very abnormal. She is definitely the type of person to let someone know, at least one person know where she is heading.
And you being her best friend, were you oftentimes that person?
Yes.
After you got back to your home, was it after 11 o'clock?
Yes.
Now, after you got back to your home, kind of tell us what happens the rest of the night, what's going on?
I'm just kind of trying to distract my mind from thinking the worst of her that could have happened to her. I'm still checking in with Kaya. She's still updating me on her location, being in the same neighborhood. And I didn't get much sleep. I waited till the morning.
So even after you got back to your home, you remained in communication with Kaya?
Yes.
And so was Kaya, while you're on the phone, was she providing you updates from Susanna's location on Life 360?
Yes.
And during that time, do you recall, did Susanna's location ever change from that Oak Lock Trace area?
No.
At some point, did you ever use your Find My iPhone feature to try and see if you could find any information about Susanna?
Yes.
All right. And when, if you remember, when approximately did you do that?
A little bit after I had arrived home, so past 11.
Did you get any information from the Find My iPhone feature?
She was at the same location, the neighborhood.
Okay, so your Find My iPhone feature showed her at that Oak Lock Trace area?
Yes.
Now, from the time that Kaya sent you the text message about the crash alert.
No,
from
not
that
yet,
time,
Candy Cane. We're
did
gonna cover
you,
that.
How many times do you think you reached out to try and contact Susanna?
Every 10 minutes.
Now, how did you reach out to her? Were you calling or texting or social media?
Texting.
Now, at any point after that moment that Kaya sent you that crash alert, did you ever receive any response from Susanna?
No.
So you said after you got home, you kind of checking, and then throughout the night, did you remain checking throughout the entire night?
Wow,
or did
thanks,
you go to
OG.
sleep?
I didn't know it was
What
on the
occurred?
7th. Damn.
Eventually, I did fall asleep.
By the time you had fallen asleep, had you received any really new information from anybody about where Susanna was at?
No.
When you got up the next morning, just kind of tell us what happened.
I got up the next morning. I had contacted Kaya. She said that she had already spoken to Jasmine and that they had filed a police report. But as we all know, you have to wait 48 hours for a missing person they can start looking for them. So we decided to look on our own.
So the next day, you continued searching?
Yes.
And tell the jury what you did in efforts to locate Susanna the next day.
The next day, I met up with her sister, Jasmine Morales, and the Oak Lock complex homes, and we just searched for her around there. At that moment, we had already made flyers looking for her as a missing person, and we had received a phone call that was saying that they basically had her. Of course, us not knowing anything, we got scared, so we called 911, and that is when an officer arrived to the scene.
Okay. Now, you said you got a call. How did did you get the call?
I believe it was Jasmine that had gotten that call.
Okay. Throughout looking for Susanna, did you receive phone calls from people claiming to have seen Susanna or know where she was at or have taken her or something like that?
Yes.
And ultimately, did you attempt to follow up and see if any of those things were accurate?
Sometimes.
Did you ever find any of the information that people gave you, these tips that people called you with, to be accurate?
No.
How did people get your phone number to call you?
I had made a flyer with my phone number on it.
You put was it your personal cell phone number on it?
My personal cell phone number.
How many calls from strangers did you get because of the phone number you put on the flyer?
Throughout the whole time of her disappearance, probably over 1,000 phone calls.
Okay. And during that period of time, did anybody provide you, from those calls, did anybody provide you information that helped you identify where Susanna was at or what had happened to her?
No.
A few days after Susanna disappeared, do you recall getting a phone call from a blocked or private number?
Yes.
All right. And did you know who was on the other end of that phone call talking to you?
No.
Male or female?
Male.
And when the person called you from the private or block number, what was that person asking you about?
That person was just asking me if there was any updates on the case, whether we had found her or not, just wondering about the case.
And did the person ever identify themselves?
No,
Did the person ever tell you that they were a police officer or law enforcement looking into the disappearance of Susanna?
I did not recall that.
All right. And the individual on the other line, did they ever provide you with a name or any kind of contact information on how to reach out to them and talk to them?
No,
Did you and Susanna ever talk about
I wonder if he called.
boys?
I can't
Yes.
remember.
Talk about boyfriends or boys that you might like, things like that?
yes,
Did you know Susanna's boyfriend, Axel?
yes.
Did you ever hang out with him?
I was there when she met him.
Okay, so you knew him from the beginning.
Yes.
And how long before Susanna was taken did she meet him?
I do not recall an exact date.
Okay. And I don't need an exact date. Just give us an idea, if you can. How long had they been talking?
Maybe a month or two.
And tell us, how did Susanna feel about Axel?
She had just gotten out of a really toxic relationship, so Axel was her fresh breath of air. She really liked him.
And you knew Susanna, so because you really liked Axel, was she the type of person that would have just decided to randomly go out and hook up with somebody else instead of Axel?
No,
The night that she disappeared, well, really that whole day, do you recall, did you have any messages with Susanna that day?
none.
Susanna, did you ever know her to just run away and not tell anybody where she was going?
No.
How was her relationship with her mother?
As any daughter-mother relationship, there was flaws, but for the most part, they got along well.
And she loved her mother?
Yes.
Did Susanna ever come to your home to stay whenever she would get into an argument
What
with
the
her
hell was
mother
that
or
weird
anything like
pause?
Yes.
that? Would she text her mother or at least let her know where she was at?
For the most part, yes.
Now, after Susanna's disappearance, and I don't need an exact number, but you kind of told us about the day after going and looking for her back at the old blood trace. Did you ever go and look after that day, up until she was found? Did you ever go looking other places and canvassing and trying to find Susanna?
Yes.
If you can give us an idea, how many times?
20.
And what kind of areas would you go? Where would you go look, and what would you do?
We would go to different towns, Lilburn, Johns Creek. We went in the Alpharetta area, just going around parks, putting up flyers.
Did you ever find any trace of Susanna?
No.
I'm sorry about that, Tweety. Them people playing with your emotions.
Well, let me ask you, how did you find out that Susanna's body was located?
I had gotten a phone call from a friend, and he had told me over the phone.
Okay. Her body was located on February 6th. Do you have any idea how long after that or what day it was that you found out?
I found out that same day when they had put it on the news.
Okay. And what went through your mind at that moment?
I was in shock and disbelief, as any person would be.
Did you had you ever met Miles Bryant, the defendant?
I didn't know who he was at the time, but I have met him before.
Okay. And you say you didn't know him at the time. I'm gonna clarify. Did you have a friendship with or personal relationship with the defendant anyway?
No.
Had you seen him before?
Yes.
Okay. Now, tell the jury about how many times had you seen him before, if you know?
I would see him around the apartments every once in a while, so maybe 3 to 5 times.
Okay. Now, did you know, seeing him around the apartment complex, are you talking about the Sterling Glen apartments?
Yes.
And did you know that he was a police officer?
No.
Let me ask you, did you ever have any time, not just seeing him, but having any kind of conversation with him?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
There was an instance where me and Susanna were walking in the Sterling Glen apartments when we were walking to a gas station right outside of the entranceway, where he had stopped in a black truck asking us if we needed a ride. We had heard from some other people in the neighborhood.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain that objection.
I'm sorry, what was the
Oh,
objection?
I think it's hearsay.
He just a regular old, for real,
Oh,
creepy
okay.
guy.
So, ma'am, I'm just going to instruct you not to testify about what anyone else told you. Okay?
That's all right. You were talking about walking to the gas station when, and continue from there. You said that the defendant pulled up in his black truck.
Yes.
All right, tell us about what happened when he pulled up.
He was just asking us if we needed a ride, where we were heading. We denied the ride, and we both continued on with our day.
Did you and Susanna talk about that interaction?
Not afterwards, no.
Okay. And what was your feeling about that interaction with the defendant?
It wasn't odd for us to get, we were young girls in a neighborhood. It wasn't odd for us to get asked if we needed a ride anywhere. So we just kind of laughed it off and didn't talk about it.
So at the time, and it may be easier for us to look at a map here. Could you put up exhibit number 50? It's already been admitted as kind of as an overall map of Sterling Glen Apartments. You'll be able to see it here on your television. There we go. Oh. It was there. There we go. All right, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So State's Exhibit 50, here, the Sterling Glen Apartments. Can you see here on this map where that interaction with the defendant took place?
Yes.
All right, and can you point on your screen, if you can, where that took place?
It was around here where the entrance is, because I remember we were walking past the garbage and it smelled bad.
Okay, so you pointed to, and I'm going to show you over here, just over in this area that you're talking about?
More up.
Up, okay, up here?
To the left.
To the left.
Right there.
Okay. This area right here, is this the main entrance to Sterling Glen Apartments?
Yes.
And where is the gas station that you're walking to?
It's more up there towards the top right corner.
This is labeled on this map as a BP gas station. Is that the gas station that you were going to?
Yes.
Okay. And the defendant, do you remember what kind of truck it was?
I do not remember what type of truck it was.
That's all right. Now, how long did that interaction last?
Very few moments, maybe max 3 minutes, not long at all.
Okay. After you declined to get in his truck, where did he go? Do you remember?
He was entering the apartments and he just drove off.
So he was coming into the apartments as you and Susanna were walking out of the apartments?
Yes.
And after that, he just continued on into the apartment complex?
Yes.
Did you go to the gas station?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any other times that you had an interaction with the defendant?
Not one-on-one interactions, no.
I'm sorry?
Not one-on-one interactions.
Okay. Other than that one actual interaction, any other time you saw the defendant was just in passing?
Yes.
Okay. think those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you, Rose.
The defense may have some questions for you.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I just have a couple of questions for you. You mentioned, well, you didn't specifically say, so I want to clarify something. When you would be with all the other girls, would Susanna be smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Are you familiar with any other drugs that she has used?
No.
Do you remember giving an interview to Corporal Conway back in January? It was actually in the early morning hours, 12:33 in the morning. 2 officers came to your home.
Yes.
Do you remember telling him that she's never done anything greater than pot or acid?
Yes.
When Susanna would ingest drugs, did she know her limits?
Yes.
And do you recall telling the cop that as well? I should say officer, not you slang. The officer, do you remember telling him that as well?
I don't remember telling him that, but I could have.
Okay, all right, thank you, ma'am.
Anything further?
Maybe they really trying to make her a crackhead or something. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, ma'am, you can step down. You can stay in the courtroom. Or
Yeah,
you
they
can
said that they read in her
step towards
diary that
next
she had dropped
witness.
acid a couple of times.
Axel's there we go.
Oh, okay, y'all. Let's the boyfriend is not gonna be long at all because the next witness after the boyfriend is gonna be a lot. Okay, so we'll do the next witness tomorrow and bring y'all clinics tomorrow. If y'all don't mind, I would like to go over maybe 20 minutes or so we can get the next friend witness out the way. The boyfriend Axel, he don't have a lot to add.
Taking down everything that is said in the courtroom, including your responses. And since she doesn't have eyes in the back of her head, she cannot tell if you nod or if you say nod or in the affirmative. She also can't take down uh-huhs or uh-uhs. So we may say, is that a yes? Is that a no? To make sure the record is perfected. We also going to need you to speak up. You're going to have to get close to the microphone so that the jury and my court reporter can hear you. Also, you may anticipate the questions of the attorneys and you may want to jump in and answer. Wait till they finish talking because if you start talking,
Now you go some water.
my court reporter doesn't know whose testimony to take down, okay? Okay, so just chill. There's water there if you would like some. Okay.
All right, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Let's
And you?
just tell him just chill.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury? Tell us your name.
My name's Axel Zaragoza.
And would you mind spelling your name for us?
AXELZARAGOZA.
Axel, how old are you?
17.
And Axel, back in July of 2022, how old
He
were you?
came in dressed for the occasion. He
I
looked
was
nice.
16.
16, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so when do you turn 18?
This year.
This year, all right. Now, are you in school?
I just graduated.
Graduated, fantastic. And where'd you graduate from?
Meadow Creek High School.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, do you know Susana Morales?
Yes.
And tell the jury how you know her.
She was my girlfriend. I met her in the May of 2022. I met her at the gym.
And tell us, what gym are you talking about?
Planet Fitness.
Where was that at?
Jimmy Carter.
Now, were y'all both just in there working out?
Yeah, I was about to leave and I saw her, so I had to come back and get her number.
Okay, very good. And when you asked for her number, did she give you her number?
Yeah.
Not Mac Daddy.
After that, that was May 2022. Walk us through, I guess, a little bit about, did you end up starting a relationship with her?
Yes, we did.
And how long after you met her did that really start?
Probably like a little bit over a month.
Okay. Now, I have learned as I've gotten older that teenagers use different terms than I do. During that period of time, from when you met her to really when you started a relationship.
No, this was the
were y'all
boyfriend she
talking?
liked, the
Yeah.
new boyfriend,
Okay.
the
And
brother
so
fresh
just kind
air.
of the getting to know you phase.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. How did y'all mostly communicate at that time?
We were talking a lot on the phone. We would also hang out in person.
And where would you hang out at?
The first place we hung out, I think, was the lake,
Okay. What lake was that?
Lake Lanier.
And when do you think, best you can remember, kind of a official relationship started?
Probably towards the end of May or early June.
Now, how often would you see Susanna?
At least once a week, twice a week.
Okay. When y'all would see each other, where would y'all generally hang out?
Either like we would go to the movies or like out to eat
Would you ever spend time at her house?
once.
Did she ever spend time with you at your house?
Yes.
Now, where do you approximately, where do you live at?
On Tucker.
In Tucker?
Yeah.
How far was it from your home to Susanna's home on Santa Ana?
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Yeah.
You know exactly
Yeah.
how long it took you to get there. Is that by driving or walking?
Driving.
Driving. Did you drive at the time?
No.
And so if she would come to your house or you would go to her house, how would you guys get back and forth?
My dad would go pick her up.
Dad would go pick her up, bring her back to your house?
Mhm.
And again, you have to
Oh,
answer.
yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You're doing fine.
You do good.
How often would you hang out at your house?
Probably hanged out in my house like 2-3 times.
And who do you live with?
My parents.
You have any siblings that live there with you?
My brother.
Okay. So you, your brother, and your parents?
Yes.
So when you would go to the movies or out to eat, how would y'all get to the movie theater or the restaurant that you were going to go to?
My parents would drop us off.
So would your parents pick her up with you in the car?
Yes.
So Jeff, I don't really understand the relevance of any of this.
I'm just trying to have him lay a little foundation with his relationship with Susanna and a little foundation.
Okay, I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Now, I want to take you to, well, before I go there, did you like Susanna?
Of course.
And do you feel like she liked you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you love her?
Yeah.
How would you describe Susanna?
She was really uplifting. She was nice to everybody. She was a really loving person.
Did y'all have a good relationship?
Yeah, we did.
July 26th, 2022, the day that Susanna was taken, did you talk to her that day?
Yes, I did.
Kind of tell the jury about that day and your conversations with Susanna.
She called me over the phone before she left to Kelly's house. And also right before she left her house, she also called me saying that she was going to go out with friends to go smoke. And she'll call me when she get home.
In the phone call, did y'all just pick up the telephone or was it a
FaceTime call.
FaceTime call. So if you remember, do you remember approximately what time it was that evening when Susanna FaceTimed you to say she was going to Kelly's house?
It was around 4.
Okay. And then were there two FaceTime calls or just one?
2.
Two. Okay. So when was the first one?
Like around 4.
Okay. And in that call, what did y'all talk about?
We were just talking about her day.
Did she tell you at that point that she was going to go anywhere?
Yes.
Okay. And where did she say she was going to go?
She said she was going to go to Kelly's house.
Did you know Kelly?
Not personally.
Through Susanna, did she tell you about Kelly?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever met her?
No.
Did you know where Kelly lived at?
No.
So when Susanna told you she was going to go to Kelly's house, did you know where approximately she was going to go?
She said it was like 5 minutes walking distance.
You said there was a second call.
Yes.
And what was the second call?
She was telling me pretty much that she was going to go smoke with her friends and that she would call me when she got home.
All right. And what time, if you remember, was that second call?
Around 8.
Okay. So at the time she called you the second time to tell you she was going to go and smoke, was she at home at that time?
No.
Okay. Do you remember where she was?
She was in Kelly's apartments.
Okay, so she was already with Kelly at that time?
Yes.
Were you able to see Kelly in the FaceTime video?
No.
How long do you think that phone call lasted?
I don't remember.
It's okay. Now, there, she said she was going to call you once she left Kelly's house?
No, once she got home.
Once she got home, okay. Tell us if you can, did you ever hear from her again that night?
No.
Did she call you when she was on her way home or had gotten home?
No.
What was the first time that you realized something might be wrong with Susanna?
When she wasn't answering her phone
Kelly was a
at all.
Hispanic girl with the,
Tell me, did you try
big
to call
goofy
her?
hair,
Yes.
And what time was that?
I think.
If you know.
Probably like around 1 in the morning.
Yeah, Kelly was the first one we heard
Now,
from tonight.
At that time, by the time you had tried to call her, had anybody contacted you to tell you anything about there might be an issue or a problem?
Esmeralda called me around 1 in the morning saying if she was with me because she wasn't answering her phone and she wasn't home. And I said that she wasn't with me. So that's when I tried to call her.
Okay. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, you tried calling. Did you get any response?
No.
Did you try texting her?
Yes.
Did you get any response?
No.
And did you try social media?
Yes.
And what kind of social media did you guys communicate on?
Instagram and Snapchat.
And did you receive any response from her on either of those platforms?
No.
What'd you do at that time?
I told my mom.
Okay. Were you at home at that time?
Yes, I was.
1 o'clock in the morning, were your parents awake or did you have to wake your mom up?
I had to wake my mom up.
And why'd you do that?
Because I started getting like uneased because she wasn't answering because normally she would always answer me even if she was sleeping.
You talked to Esmeralda that night. Did you know Esmeralda?
Yes.
Had you ever met her or hung out with her?
Once.
Did you have her number as well, Esmeralda's number?
No, I had her Instagram.
Instagram. So did Esmeralda contact you on Instagram or did she call you?
She called me on Instagram.
Called you on Instagram. Okay, so you can make phone calls on Instagram?
Yes.
You know he was scared if you
Before
went to mama.
Esmeralda had contacted you, did you have any indication from anywhere that something was wrong with Susanna?
No.
Now, you expected a phone call from Susanna when she got home. Did you have any idea what time that was supposed to be or when she was going to be home?
No, I didn't know.
Now, when Esmeralda called you, were you already asleep or were you kind of up waiting for the call from Susanna?
Yeah, I was waiting for the call.
Okay. Had you tried, after you FaceTimed with her when she was over at Kelly's house, did you try reaching out to her before Esmeralda called you?
No.
Did you receive any messages from Susanna while she was with Kelly and Alyssa?
No.
Did you know Kelly or Alyssa?
No.
At the time that, back on July 26th, and really expanded out a little bit before then, right? That part of the relationship was a new relationship, but did you ever suspect that Susanna was seeing other guys or talking to other guys besides you?
No.
Would that, if she had been, would that have surprised you?
Yeah.
And why is that?
I don't know. It would have.
Another way of
Welcome
saying it,
back.
you didn't suspect her of running around on you or meeting up with other guys or anything like that.
No.
And you mentioned a moment ago that obviously Susanna told you she was going to smoke. You knew she smoked marijuana?
Yes.
Did you ever smoke with her?
No.
And did you know how often she smoked?
No, I don't remember.
And when she told you that she was going to smoke, was that odd to you?
No.
Now, did you ever know Susanna to run away and not come home?
No.
Did you ever know her to stay out and where her mom didn't know where she was and not communicate with her mom?
No, her mom always knew where she was.
Did you know her mom?
Yeah.
And how many times had you met her mother?
Probably like twice.
When you guys would, in the dating relationship, when y'all would see each other, would you mostly see each other around each other's families or kind of separate and apart when you were out at dinner or movies alone?
Both.
Both, kind of half and half?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you find out? Well, let me ask this before we get there. After she disappeared that night and you talked to Esmeralda, kind of walk us through what you did.
Well, I went to go talk to my mom, telling her that, oh, Susie isn't appearing. She's not answering a phone. So she called her mom, and her mom thought she was asleep at her friend's house.
Okay. So your mother called Susanna's mother?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so once that phone call happened, kind of tell us what happened.
I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and that's when I called Jasmine. Esmeralda gave me Jasmine's number.
All right. Susanna's sister?
Yes.
All right. And you called her and said what?
I don't remember.
Why did you call her?
Because I care about Susie.
Sure. And you wanted, well, let me ask you, what did y'all talk about when you called Jasmine? What happened?
Well, at first she asked me if she was at my house because she didn't come home all night. And I said, no, she wasn't at my house.
Okay. At what point did you really become concerned that something had happened to Susie?
When she didn't answer the next morning.
Okay. So even when you talked to Esmeralda that night and hadn't heard from her, thought maybe what did you think?
Maybe she fell asleep.
The next morning, did you try reaching back out to Susie?
Yes.
And did you get any response?
No.
When you talked to Jasmine and confirmed she wasn't at your house, what did you do?
She came to pick me up, and we filed a police report.
Who picked you up?
Jasmine and her mom.
So where did you go with them to file the police report?
To their house.
Now, so were you present when the police showed up and to file the report?
Yes.
Did you talk to the police?
No.
After filing the police report, what happened?
They told us we had to wait 48 hours, I think it was.
And you get that directive from the police, right? They can't list her as a missing person until 48 hours. What did you do?
I really thought they
I
had
don't
stopped
remember.
doing that.
Let me ask you, did you
I guess
go
not.
looking for Susie?
Yeah.
And with that day or other days?
That same day, too.
That same day. All right, where'd you go?
I think we went to where her last location was.
Had you received those phone screenshots as well that documented her location?
Yes.
All right. And who'd you go with, if you remember, to look?
My parents and Jasmine and her mom.
You went to that area where you believed her phone to be, the last location. And when you got there, walk us through what you did.
We pretty much just searched around like the outer woods of those duplexes.
Okay. And you looked in the woods?
Yeah, we were trying to find a phone.
Did you?
No.
Did you find any information about Susie?
No.
Did you talk to anybody there at that neighborhood?
I don't remember.
Now, how long do you think that you were out there looking that day?
I agree that it's self.
Probably a couple hours.
When after y'all stopped searching that day, did you ever go back anywhere and look for Susie?
Yes.
Tell us kind of what efforts you made looking for her.
We would drive around to different apartments, different
Don't
places,
quote me, sweetie, but I
see
think they eventually
if we
did
could see
find the phone.
anything, if we could find anything at all.
When you were driving around, who were you with?
Jasmine, her mom, my dad.
Now, when you were driving around, you said you went to different apartment complexes, different areas?
Yes,
Any particular reason you chose those areas to look at?
they were close by.
So it's more just kind of randomly looking around at different areas around?
Yes,
Did you ever find at any point any information about Susanna's disappearance?
no.
If you know, you can give us an estimate if you need to. How many times did you go out looking for Susan?
Pretty much every day since she went missing.
It was over 6 months later before her body was found. Did you spend that entire time between her disappearance and her being found looking for her?
Yes.
During that time, did you ever find anything?
No.
How did you find out that the police located her?
I was at work and Esmeralda called me saying that they had found her body.
What went through your mind at that point?
At first, I couldn't comprehend it. I didn't want to believe it.
Did you still think she would show up and come home?
Yeah.
When you found out, did you find out the general area where her body was found?
I found out on the news later that day.
That area out in Tequila, did you have any information, any knowledge about why Susanna would be out there in that area?
No.
Did she know anybody there?
No.
The area where you went and looked at O'Clock Trace, that area, the next morning, did you know of any reason she had to be there?
No.
Those are all the questions I have for you, so thank you.
The defense may have some questions for you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. I'm sorry for your loss. I just have a couple of questions for you. Did Susanna have a good relationship with her dad? Do you know?
I don't remember. She said it wasn't the best.
And also, we talked a little bit about that she liked pot. Are you aware of any other drugs that she used?
No.
Do you remember going to the police station and giving a statement to two investigators and talking to them about a picture?
I didn't go to the police station.
Oh, they came and met you? You didn't go to your mom?
No.
Okay, do you remember talking to them and telling them about a picture that she had sent you with an acid tab on her tongue?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so anything other than acid and marijuana?
No.
Or she never shared with you, or you never came to find out that she had ever tried anything like crystal meth?
Well, she said she tried it once.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Just a brief follow-up.
Sure.
The pill that she tried once, whatever that
Photograph was. Did you talk to her about it?
No.
Did she ever tell you about that experience of trying that?
No.
Do you know how the photograph that Ms. Drake was talking about? Do you have any idea when that was?
I don't remember.
Let me ask you, do you know if whatever it was she tried the one time, was that before your relationship began with her?
Yes.
So after you're in the relationship with her, she told you about this one time she tried something.
Yes.
Did she say anything about not liking it or or anything like that?
Yes, she said she felt disgusted with herself after trying it.
Disgusted with herself after trying it?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No further questions.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
May we release this witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sir, you can step down. You can stay in the courtroom or you can leave. State call its next witness.
Just gonna call Lieutenant Xavier Favors.
All right. So we're gonna end right here. So this was another night of very interesting testimonies, right? We found out more about her friends. We heard from her boyfriend. We heard some majorly breaking important news about the fact of that this guy is defending Miles Bryant. He was familiar with her and her weed smoking friends anyway, from around those apartments where her friend lived. He had approached them at different times. Not meaning they had a relationship of any sort, but it was a kind of familiar face, right? And also a position of authority and supposed to be safety. He was a police officer. He was the duty officers in that apartment. Oh, OG Wilchild, baby, I'm not in the position where I can cut my camera on tonight. I am so sorry. And he knocked out right here too, girl. What they say, let sleeping dogs lie. So tomorrow we're going to get into, I think we're going to get into the investigative portion of it, which is kind of interesting in this case, right? It's not just like humdrum and boring. He just an old horn dog with a badge, right? He's very much so, the things that we've heard so far, the way he approached these young girls multiple times, the way he tried to offer them marijuana and alcohol and kept stopping to solicit them to get in his car. All that stuff is like, you would have thought they was describing, are we talking about some old creep? He a young creep. Exactly. Looking for anyone to prey on. My love seat is in, okay? My love seat is in. And y'all, I see over on the other side, let me tell y'all something. I'm already addressing what's going on the other side on my community wall. But I'm not coming live because I done had a wonderful day. And I thought about it last night. And I said, I am doing so well with my other content. I cannot get distracted. Okay. And I will not get distracted. Okay. All right. Now, everyone, thank you as always for coming and serve your virtual civic duty here with Trial Watch with Demetra. As of for now, court is now in recess. We shall meet back tomorrow morning. Okay, tomorrow in the daytime, I call that my freestyle court because my freestyle docket. I came up with a name. We never know what to expect in the morning. Just know I will be here. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you, Peach Gobbler. Winter, go put it under the last one.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time. Thanks.